Hello guys, welcome to Modern Web. In today's video, we'll learn how we can easily create this Unsplash clone. If you don't know what Unsplash is a website where you can find royalty-free images for your business and personal use. We are going to use its API in today's video for making this project. So without wasting more time, let's see the demo first. You can see a beautiful header here. In this header, we have a logo in the middle. Below the logo, we have this subheading supporting our logo. After that, we have this simple but nice separator. After that, we have a search box for searching images. And if we scroll down, we have these images or recommendations. All the images are coming from Unsplash API. We learn to create this Mansory style layout in today's video. If we click in any of these images, we'll see this image pop up. In this pop-up, we have the image in the middle and we also have a navigation button to navigate through all of the images. And if we click on this red button, we can close the image pop-up. Also have a download image button. This button redirects us to the official Unsplash page. So this was our home page. Let's see our search page. Let's say we want images of cars. Let's search for cars. You can see we got the results. We are getting the images related to cars and we also have the same pop-up here. So this is the project that we are going to create today. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe the channel and like this video. It really motivates me. And you can also find the source code in the description. So without wasting more time, let's start the video. Let's see our folder structure first. You can see a CSS folder. Inside it, we have two CSS files. After that, we have images folder. You can download the images from the description. After that, we have app.js file, index.html and search.html file. Let's start writing some code. Start with HTML basic structure. Give it a title. Let's say Unsplash clone. Now link style.css file. This will be our main CSS file for the home page. For this project, I am going to use this Roboto Google font, so you can link it also on your project. Copy this link code and after copying it, paste it after below the style.css file. Let's format the code little bit. Before writing more code, let's start this page with live server. Okay, I started the server. Now let's make the header section. For that, make a header element. Give it a class of header section. And let's style this section first. Open style.css file. Use star selector to style all the elements. Remove the margin and padding from all the elements and set box sizing to border box. Now style header section. Select the header section. Set width to 100%. Set its height 100 VH vertical height. Set its position to relative. We want its position to relative, not absolute. Give it a background image. Give it a URL. Also set its background size. Set it to cover. Great, we have a background image now. Let's make the logo now. Make a div. Give it a class header content. Inside it, let's make a logo. For that, make an h1 element. Give it a class logo and just write logo here. You can see the black logo here. Now let's style it. Also set the Roboto font family in the star selector so that all the elements will have this property. Make the logo in the center. Use display flex. Give it a justify content center and also align item center to make it perfectly in the middle, and also set text align to center. You can see we have the logo in the center now. Let's style this logo. Copy this logo class. Set its font size to 80 pixel to make it a big text. Set its font weight to 400 or something. Set its color to white. I'm using hexadecimal codes here. Great, our logo is done. Now let's make a subheading. For that, go to our index.html page. Below h1 element, now make a p element and give it a class subline or subheading or whatever you like, and give it a content. Enter some text inside it. After done with this, let's check the web page first. You can see the line here. Let's style it. Select the subline here. Give it a color of white. Also give it some padding because we will going to make a separator as a before and after element of it. Also give its font size to 20 pixels. Set it text transform to capitalize. Give some word spacing if you like, and set its position to relative. To make it thin, use font weight. So our subheading is done. Let's make the separator now. For that, we'll use before and after element. Select subline after element and give it a content property. Make sure you give it a content property. This is important for pseudo elements. Set its position to absolute and place it to the bottom. So set bottom to 0 and use left 50% to make it in the center. Use transform property to perfectly align it in the center. Also give it a width as you like. Give it a width of 60% and give it a height of 1 pixels. Also give it a white background, and you can see we have this beautiful separator here. Now let's make a circle or a dot in the middle. For that, select a before element of subline element, give it a content, and also set its position to absolute and set its bottom to -5 pixels. We want this in the center, so set its left property to 50% and use transform to perfectly align it in the center. Set its width to 10 pixel and height to 10 pixels also, and give it a background of white. Okay, I messed up here. This should be 50%, not 50 pixels. Okay, great. Now set border radius to 50% to make it a circle. So we are done. You can see we are done with our separator. It's so simple. This action attribute defines where the form should redirect. In this case, we want it to redirect in our search.html page. So enter that HTML file here. Inside this form element, make an input element for our search field. Set its autocomplete to off and give it a name. Make sure you give it a name because we are going to use basic HTML form here, and name is important for it. Also give it a class of search box. You can also give a placeholder too. After done with this, make a search button. Give it a class of search button and make sure you give it a type of submit, otherwise it won't submit the form. Before styling it, let's check the page first. You can see an input and a search button. Great, our form is working fine. Now let's style the search box. Select the search box here. Set its display to block. Give it a display block. Set its margin to 60 pixels from the top and give it a margin from left to right auto and margin bottom to 20 pixels. Set its width to 100% and a height of 40 pixels. After that, set its border radius to 5 pixels for round borders and set its padding to 10 pixels. Set its border to none and also remove its outline by setting outline to none. Set its text transform to capitalize, and we are done with the search box. Let's style the search button. Select the search button in the CSS here. Give it some padding from top and bottom and left right. Give it border radius for smooth borders, smooth edges. Also give it text transform capitalize and remove its border by border none and outline none. For pointer arrow, set its cursor property to pointer and set its background color to this. Since we have a dark background, set its color to white. Good, we are done with this. Now let's make an image gallery. Now go to index.html page. After header section, now we have to make a gallery. So you can comment here a gallery if you like. Make a section element. Give it a class of gallery. Inside this section, make an image element. Give it a source and also give it a class of gallery image. Now let's see it in the web page. Great, we can see the image here. Now let's style this. You can also comment here a gallery section so that we can find these styles later on in our project. Set its width to 100%. Give it some padding, let's say 40 pixels. Set its background to white. And for Mansory layout, we are going to use this column property. Column property is used to define a grid column, so use column property and set 4 in this case because we want 4 columns, and use column gap property to make a gap between the columns. Now let's style the images, gallery images. For that, select it, set its width to 100%, also set its height to 100%, and use object fit property to maintain the image ratio. Make some more images here and change the image source if you like. If you think why we are not getting 4 columns, this is because we only have 6 images here. But if we have more than 6 images, we'll obviously get the 4 columns. Now let's style the gallery image. Give it some margin bottom for bottom spacing and set its border radius to 5 pixels for round edges. Also set cursor to pointer for hand pointer. And the styles is not working. Why? Because I messed up. I entered the wrong class name, so fix it. Great, it's working now. Make one more image element. Now you can see we are getting 4 columns. So now you can remove all the images because we have to make the images dynamically from JavaScript. Give this gallery image a background, so if a image is taking too long time for loading, it will show the background there. Great, now let's write some JavaScript. For that, open app.js file. Here first we have to make our API key in order to use the API, so let's make it. Open a new tab, search Unsplash API. Click on the first link you got, and here you can log in to your account. I am already logged in. After login, you can click your apps. Here click on new application to create a new application. Accept all this agreement and privacy policy. Now set the application name. I'm setting image downloading website. Give it a description. And then click on create project. Great. So if we scroll down, at the end of the page we can find the API key. Copy this key, paste that key here, make a access key variable and paste that key here. After that, make another variable, name it random photo URL. This will be our random photo URL link. This link will give us the random photo. So go to the documentation page, scroll down and go to the random photo section. Here you can see the random photo backlink, but before that we need the access point. For that, go to the top and you can find the link here. Yes, you can see this link, the Unsplash link. Copy this link and use a template string here. Notice I'm not using a single quote here, I'm using a template literals, and paste the link here. After that, go to random photo again, copy this root and paste it. After that, remove the extra slash from here. Great. Now add a question mark at the end because we need to enter some parameters after it. The first parameter we will enter is client ID. This will be our access ID, access key. Enter the access key here. After that, use AND symbol because we want to add another parameter. This parameter is count. This defines how much result we want. After all of this, select the gallery element. Make a gallery variable. Use document.querySelector method to select the gallery section. Then make another variable, name it all images. This will store all images data. Now let's make a function for fetching the images. Make a const get images function. Inside this function, use fetch method and here enter the random photo URL point. Use then block to respond to the data, and again use then block to get the data and console log the data first. Make sure you link the JS file in the index page. Now let's check the website. Press F12 to access console. Open the console. Call here get images function. You can see we got the result, and you can pause the video to have a look on the data structure. Remove the console log from here, and now let's store the data into the variable that we have created, and now pass the all images variable inside make images function. This function we're going to create next. Now create a make images function. Now this function will create the images element in our gallery section. Add a data parameter here, and now use data.forEach to loop through the data. Here select the item and also keep track of index. We need that index too. First, let's console log the data to see it's working or not. Before that, make another variable, name it image. use document.create element to create an img element or an image element. After that, use image.src to set its source attribute, and let's see the data to know what its source could be. So let's refresh the site and open the console and call the getImages function, and hopefully we see the data. Yes, we got the data. Now let's see where are the images. You can see a URL key here inside this data, and this URL contains all the images URL, but we need the only regular one. So great, now we can close the console because we know the image source. Now let's set it here. So type here item dot urls dot regular. This will give us the regular image path. Set image class name, use class name property for that. Set its class name to gallery image. And after that, append this image element to our gallery section. For that, use append child method. And pass the image element inside it. You can delete the console log now, and let's check the website now. Refresh it, and we didn't get anything. Why? Because we haven't called the function yet. So call getImages function, and hopefully we see the images. If we scroll down, yes, it is working. So our gallery section is done. All the images are coming dynamically from the API. So now let's create the pop-up window. So for that, go to the index page. You can also make a comment here for pop-up window if you like. Now make a div and give it a class of pop-up window or image pop-up. I'll go with image pop-up here. Let's style this element. Select this image pop-up element here. You can also make a comment here. Give it a fixed position because we want it to stay on the screen. Give top to 15% and left to 15%, and use transform property to make it perfectly align at the center. Give it width to 18% and set its height to 80 VH vertical height. Give a background of light gray color. Give it some box shadow. Great, you can see the image pop up here. Give it a border radius also, so the edges will be smooth, the corners. And also give it some transition, let's say 0.5 seconds. Make a button element here and give it a class of close btn. This will be our close button. After that, make an anchor element, not a button element, make an anchor element, and this will be our download image button. So give it a class of download btn. Before styling, let's check the element first. So great, now let's style the close and download image button. Select the close btn element, set its position to absolute, and set top and left property to 10 pixels. Set its width to 20 pixels and height to 20 pixels. Set its background color to reddish color. Use this hexa code if you like. Set its border radius to 50% to make it a proper circle. Set its border to none to remove the border, and also set its cursor to pointer. Great. Now let's style the download image button. Select the download button element and let's style it. Give text transform to capitalize and give some padding to it. Set its background color to dark greenish color. You can give this hexa code. Also set its color to white and set text decoration to none to remove the underline. Give border radius also and place this button to the top right side by position absolute and by giving right and top property. Okay, now let's make the image first. So go to index.html page. Okay, before that fix this. Add text decoration none here to remove the underline. Okay, great. Now let's go to index.html page. After the anchor tag, make an image element and give it a source. Give it a class also. Give it a large image class and let's style it. Give this image a height of 80% and give its width to auto, but set its max width to 80% in case if we need it. Use object fit property to maintain the image ratio and use border radius to make the corner smooth. And it's good, but our image is not in center. Why? Let's make it in center. In the image pop-up element, here give display to flex and use justify content center and align item center to make the image in the middle or in center. Great. Now let's make the navigation buttons. For that, after the image element, make a button element. Give it a class of controls and also give it a class pre-btn. This will be our previous button. Add an image element inside it and give it a source. Press shift alt down arrow to make a copy and change the image source here. Also change the class name to next btn and you can see the buttons here. Now let's style these buttons. Set its background to none to remove the background. Also set its border and outline to none because we don't want any border. Set its position to absolute and give it top property to 50% to align it in the vertical direction, and use transform property to make it properly in the center. Here use transform translate x, translate y because we need the transformation in y direction. Well, we can't see our buttons because we haven't give them a left and right property, so let's give them. Select the pre-btn, set its left to 20 pixels. Also select next btn and give its right property to 20 pixels, and hopefully we'll see those buttons now. And yeah, we got the buttons. Now we can hide this pop-up. So for that, let's make another property. Copy this image pop-up and paste this element here. Add a new class here, hide, and in this styles, set the display property to none to hide the image pop-up. Also set its opacity to 0 in case if we need it. Inside make images function, after gallery append child, add click event to image element using add event listener. Inside this, first make a variable name current image. This will track our current image index so that we can manage our pop-up image, and set the current image value to the index of the active clicked image. Yeah, this one. And after that call a function show pop-up, and in that function pass the item. This show pop-up function we will going to create next. In this function, first select all the pop-up elements like pop-up element, close button, download image, and the large image one by using document query selector method. After done selecting all the elements, remove the hide class from popup element using popup.classlist.remove inside the bracket pass hide. So this will remove the hide class from popup element. After that, set download button href or link to item.links.html. This will redirect us to the official image downloading website or Unsplash page. And after that, set the image source by image.src equal items.urls.regular. This will set the image element source. Okay, we got some error here, so let's fix it. First, in the index.html, delete this source code from here, and let's check it out. Did it work or not? Okay, we got some error. Let's open the console. Okay, so we got this error. Go to the app.js file. Here we don't have an image element, we have this image. So correct the name and hopefully it will work. Great, it is working now. And great, our download image button also working fine. Now let's make the close button. Add a click event to close button using add event listener, and inside this add the class hide to popup element using popup.classlist.add hide. Now let's check the close button. Open the pop-up first, click on it, and it's not working again, so I messed up somewhere. Yes, I messed up here. This is not our actual class name. Our class name was btn, so correct it. And now it should work. Let's check it. Click on the red button, and yes, it is working now. Great, now let's make the navigation buttons working. Now let's make the control buttons. So for that, go to the end of the app.js page. Here select the pre button and next button using document.query selector. Make sure you use query selector here, not query selector all, because we have only one pre button, not more than one. Also select next button using query selector method. Now after done selecting pre buttons and next buttons, add a click event to pre button and next button using add event listener. Inside the pre button here, check for a condition whether current image is greater than 0 or not, because if current image is equals to 0, we don't want it to subtract. And here call the function show popup. This will show the popup, and inside this pass all images. Again, all images contain our all image data. It's an array, so access the current image index data here. After done with this, copy this event and paste down. Change the pre-btn to next btn and change the condition little bit. Set current image is less than all images dot length minus 1, because we don't want it to exceed the all images length. And instead of subtracting here, increment the current image here. Great, now let's check it is working or not. So yes, it's not working. Why? Because I used document.query selector all method to select the btns, which is not correct method to select it. So change query selector all to query selector, because we want to select only one pre-btn and one next button. Good, it's working now. So we are done with our home page. Now we just have to make a search page. So let's make it. Before starting with our search page, let's search for cars here. You can see I'm redirected to search.html page, and you can also see the search param. So now let's create the search HTML page. Open the search.html file, and yeah, copy the whole index.html code and paste it here, because all the structure will be same, almost same. Add the search.css files because we need some different styles for our form. Remove this header, or remove everything except this form part. So cut the form part and remove the header section. Now paste the form part here, and we can have all of the same elements here, no problem. Let's refresh the page, and yes, we are getting the recommendations here, but we don't want the recommendation, we want a search images. So let's make it. But before that, open search.css file because we want to style the search input. Add a class to form here. Now give these basic styles to style the search element. If you have any problem and doubt, feel free to ask me in the comments. I'll be glad to help you. Here give justified content space between, not center, because we want space between the search button and search input. Yes, I messed up here, but you got the point, right? And style the search input element here. And if you don't know what this element is, This element is the search input or input element of our form HTML page. And yes, we don't have this class there because I messed up while recording it. So yeah, of course we'll not see any styles because we don't have that class in our page. So let's add that class in the page. Add a class here, search input. Again, I haven't added the search class in the btn, but it's a search btn and we'll add it later. I hope you understood the CSS part. If you have any query, feel free to ask me. And let's move on to the app.js part now. Added the class name here, and yes, it's good now. Correct this property here. So our styles are done. So let's move on to the JavaScript part. Open app.js file and copy this random photo URL and paste it down. Change the variable name to search photo URL, and here remove the photo random and instead add search slash photos. This is the search backlink, and after the access key remove this count param, instead add query parameter. This will be our search word or keyword, and here pass a variable search param which we're going to create next. And after this add another parameter, name page per page. This will define how much result we want on a per page. In this case we want 50 result per page. Now let's create the search param variable. Let's define it at the top. Let's see in our console window how we gonna extract the search parameter from the URL. So open the console and type location. Location will give the access to the address bar, and here location.search will give the access to all the parameters. In this case we just have one parameter, so we got search cars, and in this just use the split method to split it with the equal sign, so we got two items but we only want the last one, so use dot pop. This will return the last element of the array, in this case the keyword which we are interested in. So this is the line which will give us the search parameter. Now we are almost done. Copy the getImages function, paste it down, change the function name to search images. Inside the fetch function, remove the random photo URL to search photo URL, change it, and yeah, it's good. Now we have to call the function. For that we have to check whether we are on search page or not. To check whether we are on search page or not, search is we have search params or not. If we have a search parameter, call the search image function, otherwise call get images function. So this is our condition. Now let's check it. Refresh the page and we didn't got anything. Let's open the console and yes, we got some error. Let's check it. Why? Here let's console log the data so that we can check it. Okay, our data in the results section. We are interested in results, so access the data dot results here. Okay, so now I think we are good to go. We can remove this console log from here and let's refresh the page, and yes, it's working. So our search page is working. Let's search for art. Amazing. So we are done with it. So we are done with this project. I hope you find this video helpful. If you have any doubt, please let me know in the comment. I'll be glad to help you. And if you are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe the channel and like this video. It really motivates me. And again, you can find the source code in the description. Thanks for watching.